Hello, hello. Good morning. Happy Sunday morning if you're watching live, and happy whatever time of day it is if you're watching the replay or in another part of the world. My name is Zara Premji, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Markham, Ontario, Canada. And I'm here for your weekly Coffee and a Card Facebook Live. I'm just going to take a second to find this on my computer, and so that way I can see comments as they're coming in. Good morning, Joy. Happy Easter. Good morning, Sonia. Happy Easter, everybody. Okay, bear with me for 1 second. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Nicole. Happy Easter, and happy Easter to all of you and your families as well. Sorry, I disappeared for a second. Thank you, Sonia, for sharing. How is everybody? How's everybody doing? And where are you watching from? If this is your first time watching, thank you so much for being here. I'm grateful for you. And for those of you that show up week after week, I'm grateful for all of you as well. Good morning, Margaret. Good morning, Sandra. How are all my friends doing? We'll chit chat for a couple of minutes, and then we're going to get started with some crafting, and I'm going to share some tips with you today. So let me tell you what we're going to do today. I'm going to be showing you during Facebook Live. He knows it's 10 o'clock on Sunday morning. I'm going to be showing you a project featuring the Springtime Joy stamp set, and this is in our January to June mini catalog. And as I was designing with this, I thought to myself, you know, you would look at this stamp set and think it's an Easter stamp set. There's obviously a sentiment that says Easter is a lovely reminder of new beginnings, and then there's welcome spring and that sort of thing. And I thought to myself, well, how else could I leverage this stamp set? How else could I extend the life of this stamp set? So today, in addition to making a cute card, I'm also going to share some tips with you on how to get more bang for your buck with your seasonal stamps, okay? Because I'm sure many of you, when you purchase a stamp set that is seasonal themed, you might think to yourself, well, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do with this after Easter or after Valentine's Day or after Christmas. So hopefully I'll be able to share some tips with you that will help you get more bang for your buck with your stamps. I'm just going to say hello to a few more friends. Good morning, Barb. Happy Easter. It's a beautiful morning. Yes, it's supposed to be 14 degrees Celsius here in Markham. So we're definitely going to be getting outside today. Good morning. Oh, hello, Nicole from Ottawa. Happy Easter, Shelley. Hello, Denise. Happy Easter. Good morning, Shirley. I see you all. Thank you so much for joining. I see all your names. I apologize if I miss anybody. Thank you, Donna. Happy Easter to you too. Yeah, luckily we're in Canada and spring could still be starting as late as June. But we're going to send out positive vibes, and spring is going to start now. Okay, so it's getting warmer. In Ontario, we just entered our, I don't know, maybe it's our 4th lockdown. I don't know if it's, I've lost count, and I sometimes have a hard time knowing the difference. I just follow the rules and we stay home a lot, but we're not going to be gathering with any family or anything like that. We might just go to the park nearby with the kids and just hang out, maybe get some fun takeout. We had a really nice dinner yesterday, so tonight might just be a takeout night and just kind of hang out. Hello, Phoebe. So yeah, nothing too exciting planned. If you saw my post yesterday, I shared pictures of the my paper storage. And so many of you that have been watching my Facebook Live see this every week. And then I also shared a picture of my ink pad storage. And those two are like my most favorite things to look at in the craft room, because I love the rainbow and I love the kind of organized look of it. But if you see the rest of my craft room, that theme doesn't necessarily carry through everything else. It can be a little bit of a gong show. In fact, this morning, so I did do some spring cleaning this weekend, and it was looking like pristine. It was looking really good. And then I was crafting this morning, and my daughter came in and she said, I hope that this doesn't sound rude, Mom, but your craft room got messy really quickly. So she saw the desk was covered in crafting stuff. So she was trying really hard to politely tell me that I had already created quite the gong show in my craft room. But anyway, that's how I roll. Hello, Lorraine. Happy Easter. Hello, Janice, and happy Easter to you and your family. Are you guys ready to get started? So does everybody have coffee? Oh, that's nice. Shelly's going to drop off some tulip bunches to family and wave from the driveway. What's everybody else doing for Easter? So are you, like, if you're in a place where there is kind of a lockdown or some restrictions, how are you making today a joyful day? So we've had a long weekend. We have beautiful weather here. What are you doing to, are you going to be connecting with family over Zoom? Are you crafting? What are you going to do to bring some joy to your day? Drop a comment below and let me know. Good morning, Carol Ann and Shams. Okay, I'm gonna have a swig of this. This is coffee number 2 for the day, and I just love coffee. I don't know how to say it. There are like the few things in life that make me feel as warm and tingly as coffee does. I just love it. So it makes me really happy. Okay. Crafting today. Okay, you guys are probably tired of me chatting. Let me tell you a little bit. Maybe I'll flip the camera down and we will get started. So for those that are just jumping on, we're going to be using the Springtime Joy stamp set, and I'm going to be sharing some tips with you for extending the life of your seasonal stamps, okay? So I don't want these to be like one and done, and if you're hesitating on purchasing this, hopefully today will give you some inspiration for how this stamp set can be used year-round, okay? All right, so let me flip the camera down. Somebody will watch and let me know if I'm like off the camera, because I put a piece of grid paper on my desktop today, and I'm gonna try and stay within the zone, but if I'm missing it, please let me know, okay? All right, 1 second, let's flip this down. I know I get really close when I'm doing this part. Okay, hold on. You would think, it's been a year since I've been doing these Facebook Lives, and you would think that I would have this down by now, that the whole transition piece, but I don't know. It just is it's never smooth. I'm not very graceful. All right, let's see here. You're never tired of me sharing. Okay, thanks, Denise. I appreciate that. Oh, hello, Rochelle. Okay, I should say good night because it's midnight in Melbourne. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that I hope I don't put you to sleep. Good morning, Jana. Oh, we have so many friends on today. This is super exciting. Okay, I have to tell you one funny story. So let's talk a little bit about this little guy here. So this is a little bit of a, I don't know if you'd call it a mistake, but I can't stop giggling because I just keep looking at this sheep thinking he looks sunburned. And so clearly I picked the wrong color for coloring his face. I picked dark petal pink, and he looks sunburned. I had to share that with you guys. So lots of mistakes made in crafting. Some you could just, you know, leave as is. I don't know if anyone would balk at that. He's super cute. But anyway, I just couldn't stop thinking that he looked sunburned when I looked at that. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about Springtime Joy. So this is a stamp set that is in our January to June mini catalog. It's got 10 stamps, and it is a red rubber stamp set. And so it's a cling stamp, which means you'll need the clear block. You'll need one clear block, and you can use all of your stamps on that one clear block. So I've got a D block here, and this is large enough to fit all of the images in here, okay? So when you look in the catalog, it'll give you a suggestion of multiple blocks. If you're just starting out and you really just want to invest in one, then the D block would be the way to go. So with the Springtime Joy stamp set, as I mentioned, it is obviously a spring themed stamp set. There is an Easter sentiment in here, and then 2 other sentiments that say spring type greetings. Welcome spring, and may the new life of spring bring you joy. So when you look at a stamp set like this, you might think, well, I'm not sure how much I will use this beyond April, you know, because I'll do the spring thing and I'll do the Easter thing, but then what else can I do with it? So I have the same questions myself and had created a few different projects, but I wanted to share with you some tips for being able to use this year round, okay? So let's have a look at it in the catalog. It's on page 22, and it is, you can see that it is with kind of another Easter stamp set, and there are a couple of samples here. It's really, really cute. It's $27 Canadian, and as I mentioned, there are 10 stamps in there. So this is where you'll see that they'll suggest some clear blocks for you. So this one is A, B, C, and D, and they will give you the smaller blocks as well to fit the smaller stamps. But if you, again, are just on a bit of a budget and you just want to purchase one block, then you could definitely do the largest one, and it'll fit all of your sentiments. Good morning, Rita. Good morning, Janice. Hello, Beth. Okay, sunburnt lamb. I know, right? Like, I just couldn't stop giggling, and before I threw it out, well, I wouldn't throw it out, but I couldn't stop giggling about it. He's so funny. All right. Okay, I'm just reading some comments here about what people are doing, how they're spending their day. Your family of 3, Janice, is having a lovely barbecue meal with dinner delivery to your folks. That's so nice. I'm happy you're joining today too. Making cinnamon buns, Margaret. So good. I should do some baking. My husband actually said this morning there's no baked goods in the house, so I think that's a hint that we need to do some baking. Okay, good morning, Michelle. Happy Easter to you and your family as well. Springtime joy, that is what we are playing with today. So, I've got some little tips here for you, and the first thing that I do want to share is every month I'm part of the All-Star Tutorial Bundle, and so these are 12 different demonstrators from all over the world, and every month we pick a theme or a bundle or a product medley, and then we each create a project and we do a video tutorial and include measurements and supplies. They're both in imperial and metric, the measurements. So again, this is useful for anybody all over the world. So for our April tutorial, we are featuring the flowering cactus product medley. This is a medley that is in our January to June mini catalog, and it's a carefully curated bundle of products. So there's a stamp set, coordinating dies, there's designer series paper or patterned paper as we like to call it. There are these cute little felt embellishments and some linen thread. Let me show you one project that we did in a class that I held recently, my flower and cactus class. So this is a sampler that we did in the class. This was a bonus project. And so just so that you can get a sense of all of the different little pieces and parts that are included in the medley. So we've got these pattern papers with cacti on them that you can cut out with the dies. And then we've got like these little felt embellishments. We've got some dies that will cut out these cacti, which we were calling dill pickles because they look kind of like pickles. So lots of different elements to this medley that can allow you to create a whole lot of different projects. So cards, treat packaging, and then of course a home decor piece. Okay, so this is going to be free with a $50 purchase this month, or you can actually purchase the tutorial bundle outright. So I will post a link in the description so that you can see the different options, and if you're looking for some inspiration and ways to use that medley, then definitely this would be a good one for you. Okay, so let me show you the cards that we're doing today. I know I call it coffee in a card, but I'm going to show you one real quickie card. And that's this little note card here. And this is one of the tips that I had, is really to just create some really quick and easy note cards that you can share with others. And then I'm going to be showing you this card here. So I'm not going to have this on screen too long because I know some of you like the little element of surprise. But let's talk a little bit about some tips, okay? So my tip number 1 for being able to extend the life of your seasonal stamps is to just make note cards, okay? So I always feel like when I can make a bunch of cards in a short amount of time, then I just feel like that's, you know, it reduces the cost of my investment, right? Because if I'm really breaking it down to cost per use, the more cards I make, the more value I'm getting out of that stamp set, if that makes sense. Thank you, Lorraine. Okay, so this is how easy it is to make a note card. We sell our note cards in envelopes in a package of 20, and they are 3.5 inches by 5 inches, I believe, when they are folded. And they're already creased, so you just basically take your corners, put them together, and you can use your thumbnail or you can use a bone folder if you have one to just crease that, okay? So then we're going to take our stamp. So we're talking about tip number 1, which is make some note cards in envelopes. So we're going to take our stamp, and then we're going to locate the Memento ink pad, the black ink pad, because we want to use blends. Oh, here we go. So we want to use our Stampin' Blends with this. So I'm taking my cute little bunny here. Okay, and then I'm just going to stamp him right here, okay? And then I'm going to take Welcome Spring, and I'm just using this sentiment or the greeting that's in the stamp set because it's right there and easy to do. But keep in mind, you could pair this with any stamp, any greetings that you have. So if you want a birthday card, if you want a welcome little one, or just a hello card, you can mix and match this with any of the I'm sorry, you're gonna have to see my head for a second here because I can't see if this is straight or not. Okay, so basically that's all there is to it. Now I want to add a little bit of color to this, but not too much. So I'm just going to go in with my smoky slate. I've got my light old olive, and then my daughter, by request, wanted yellow flowers on this card, okay? So you could color in the whole bunny. You could use a light gray, or you could use crumb cake, like a light brown. You could also use our watercolor pencils, and you could color them in that way, okay? So if you even just have pencil crayons on hand, you could color the whole thing in with pencil crayons. But I love our alcohol-based markers. And I'm actually not going to color the whole thing. I'm just going to just kind of go along the line of the stamp just to create a little bit of shadow. I don't want to, just because I'm talking about strategies for making quick cards, right? So if you end up having to color everything in and that sort of thing, then it ends up not being so quick. So let's do the little flowers. I'm going to just color the insides of these flowers with my dark So Saffron blend. So these are sold in a combo pack. So the light and dark come together. And what that allows you to do is some shading and adding some dimension. That really, they're so easy to use. They've got two tips. You've got the pen tip or the bullet tip, and then you've got a brush tip. So when you're coloring a larger surface area, the brush tip is super useful. And then I'm just going to take my light old olive, so any green will do, and I'm just going to color that in like that, okay? So that's all there is to it. You could leave it just like that, and I just think that's super cute. You could stamp something fun. There's little flowers in the stamp as well, or little butterflies. So you could stamp the envelope as well. My daughter actually commented that she felt like it looked a little bit too plain. So let me show you a tip for that. I don't mind white space. I think it just gives it a little bit of a clean and airy look. But if you feel like that bothers you, you can take your blends. Okay, so I'm actually going to use my dark smoky slate. You can take your Stampin' Blend, take the brush tip and just flick it against the cap. Okay, so I'm really just creating a little bit of a splatter effect all over the card, and that just gives it the illusion of not being so stark. Okay, so you can see that. And then of course we want to add some little jewels if we have them on hand. So I'm just going to take my, where's my take your pick tool? Where's my favorite, most used tool? Here we go. So I'm just going to pick up some little pearls and splash them on here. Okay, you can put a few more if you'd like. I can maybe do one, whoops, one here, and then one more down here. So you want to put your embellishments down in odd numbers. It's more pleasing to the eye. And so there you have a card that would take you maybe 2 minutes to make. Okay, so that's tip number one. If you are looking to extend the life of your stamp sets, make a whole bunch of cards, okay? Because then you feel like your price per use is low and it just adds so much value to the card. Now you can pair this with any other stamp set, like I said, and change up the greeting. So you don't need, if you don't need spring cards and you want just a little note card, then you can put a little hello on that, okay? Hello, Sharon, thanks for joining. So that's it for that, that's number one. So the next thing I'm gonna show you is to use it with different sentiment sets, okay? So for today, I'm pairing it with the Oval Occasions stamp set. So this is another one that is in our January to June mini catalog, and it's got a variety of all occasion stamp sets. So there's a birthday one, welcome little one, sweet friend, time to celebrate, a little treat for you, hugs and kisses, thank you for your kindness, and so lucky to know you. This coordinates with the double oval, is it called, what's it called? Oval something punch, okay? So there is a punch that coordinates with it. I believe that the punch is returning, but this stamp set will not be in our new annual catalog. Spoiler alert. Okay, so let's get to the next card here. And This is also going to be kind of my third tip as well, which is to use it with different dies and punches, okay? So if you have other dies already on hand, you can definitely bring those into the picture. For this card, I've used the stitched rectangles dies, and I've used the Be Mine stitched dies. These are in our current annual catalog, but I believe they're retiring. And I just wanted to create a little bit of a stitched border edge along the designer series paper here. Okay, so I'm just going to be putting it like that. So you can bring in other dies and embossing folders and things like that just to step up your card a little bit. So let's do our stamping first, and then we'll do a little bit of our, I'll do the embossing later. So for this one, I'm going to use the little sheep. I'm seeing your comments, ladies. Thank you. I had fun hanging out with all of you as well. That was super fun. So the flower and cactus class was one that we had done together on Zoom, and there were a total of 9 projects. And it was, you know, while it's not the same as being in person, it was still super fun to hang out with friends and all be able to craft together virtually. So kind of like what we do at my stamp camp. Thank you, Denise. Okay, so I am using I'm contemplating actually if I want to use a different, yes, you know what? I have a friend at work who just had a baby, and so I'm gonna make her a little welcome little one card. So I'm gonna quickly show you here. You might be getting more than you bargained for if you were hoping for a quick one and done card, because I know I'm doing lots today. So I'm going to show you here how to, when you get your cling stamp sets, you have this sticker sheet that has the sentiment or a picture of the image. And so then you want to be able to put that on, because that's what's going to help you have your stamp cling to the block. So what I do is I peel off half. All of the stickers have a backing that are sliced in half. So you just basically take off one side of it, and then you want to peel the backing off of your stamp, and then match it up with the side that still has the paper on it. Okay, so you're going to use the outline, and if you need glasses, put on your glasses. I don't have my glasses on, so let's just hope for the best. And then you press it down. So what's happened here is I've used this side here as the outline for putting my stamp down, and that'll allow me to match it with the outline of that sticker. So then once I've got that down, I'm just going to peel off the other backing and leave it flat here. Okay, so that's all there is to putting your cling mount stamps on their little sticker backing. So I'm going to use this stamp here that says Welcome Little One. And I'm just going to stamp that right onto this rectangle here. Okay, so I've got my stamp and my image all done here, and then we're going to go in and do a little bit of coloring. So I'm going to use am I using my light? Yeah, the light smoky slate. And I'm just going to, again, use the outline here. I could have colored this in advance, but I didn't. So I'm just outlining here, and then I'll show you a trick if you want, because some might find these just lining the lines in the stamp might be a little bit too stark for you. So if you want to blend it a little bit, you could go in and color the whole thing. What I'll show you is with our color lifter, which is just like a white blend marker. It doesn't actually erase anything, but it just lightens it a little bit. So what you can do then is just go over it, and it's kind of just adding a really light blended look to it, so it's not kind of the gray against stark white. Okay, this is optional, you don't have to do this. So I'm just using it actually to blend in some of that gray color. Okay, so then I'm going to do the little flowers, and again I'm going to go in with Petal Pink, and I'm going to go in with Pool Party. So I'm going to start with these two and do them in light and dark Petal Pink. and then we'll go in with the dark Pool Party. Okay, and then blend with the light. I'm sorry, I should have probably done some of this in advance. For those of you, can you tell me, do you like watching me color, or do you prefer that some of it's done in advance? Because that will help me plan when I'm using the blends, which I use a lot. Do you find it kind of boring to watch me color? I find it soothing to be coloring. I just don't know if it's soothing to actually watch somebody coloring. Okay, so that's that. And then we're gonna get the color right on the little lamb's face. I'm not gonna go in with the, I did the dark petal pink, FYI, on my sunburned lamb. So don't use dark petal pink if you don't want him looking too, too burned. Oh goodness, okay. You like watching people. Okay, start to finish cards are the best. All right, well, unless I hear otherwise, I'm just gonna keep on keeping on. All right. So the next thing we're going to do, because all of our stamping and coloring is done, is we want to add a little bit of texture to our card. So I'm going to use the Old World embossing folder. It's kind of like this vintage paper look. And I love this. This is one that's actually retiring. It's not going to be returning in our new annual catalog. And I think it's on sale right now. I'm not quite sure what percentage off it is, but it's always nice to get things on sale. So when you get your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you will get a, what is this called? A specialty plate. And this is used for when you want to emboss our 3D embossing folder. So we have some embossing folders that are thicker. And when you want to emboss with those, you need to use the specialty plate, which is included with the purchase of your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Okay, I'm really happy. I'm happy to hear that. You learn to use them more the more you watch me do it. You like watching me color. Okay, that's really good. You like the commentary. Okay, so people don't seem to mind. Thank you. I really appreciate your feedback. I don't know. I think maybe because when I started crafting, I felt like I needed to do things quickly because I'm a busy mom. I still am. And so I always felt like, you know, I needed quick and easy and simple. And so sometimes I worry that others feel they need that too. And when I get to chatting and stuff, I'm not sure if it's taking up too much of your time. But you know what? We're all adults. And if you don't want to listen to me talk or you have to go, you can always come back and watch the replay. So you guys just keep letting me know what you love, what you don't love, and I am happy to entertain. Okay, so I am taking, now one other thing that I've used on a lot of my cards is this Subtles Designer Series paper. Designer Series paper, for those that are newish to crafting, is basically just pattern paper. And every year we come out with a pack of paper that is in all of our different color collections. So the Subtles are usually my favorite color collection. And so they come out with a paper pack that is all of the Subtles, okay? Now, every year the patterns change a little bit. So this particular paper pack is in our current annual catalog and is going to be retiring, okay? So these little polka dots and then this sort of newsprint look. And then there's this kind of birch bark or wood grain, I guess you could say. And then what's our fourth one? And then there's this one here, which we're going to be using on the card. So you can just see the beautiful array of colors, and you get 4 of each color, I believe. So there's a total of 40 sheets. So 10 different colors, 4 of each. And I feel like it coordinates really nicely with this particular stamp set. So I'm just going to put a strip, if my adhesive wants to cooperate. I'm going to put a strip here, and I'm just going to line that up along the edge of this die cut. Okay, so if you don't have this, you don't have to use it. I just like adding borders sometimes, but not necessary. Okay, and then I'm going to use the, I'm going to put on my embossed piece. Now here's a tip. When you're using Stampin' Seal, and I can't even guarantee that this isn't going to happen to me today, I tend to press quite hard on it, but then what happens is it wants to pull the fibers up of the embossed piece. So when you are doing it on an embossed piece of cardstock, you actually need to use a lighter hand with this. And that's been my trick, because it has torn a few times and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't use it on my embossed cardstock, but use a lighter hand and you'll find that it won't tear. Okay, so I was going in guns a-blazing, lots of pressure. That did not work for me. Okay, so there you see the old world. So it just looks like someone took a piece of paper and scrunched it up. So it gives it this really nice vintage feel to it. And so now I'm going to add on my designer series paper. So remember, we're on our third tip here on how to use how to extend the life of your seasonal stamps, okay? So we've talked about making a lot of them, so making a bunch of quick cards, note cards, and envelopes, so then you feel like you're, you know, getting a lot of value there. Using it with different stamp sets and sentiments, which we have seen here. So I've used the sentiment from the oval occasions. And then we've talked about using it with different dies and punches, okay? So what I've done here is I've actually brought in 3 different die sets, and I'm having a hard time picking this one up. I cut my nails yesterday. So I am using the rectangle stitch dies, and then I've used the this border die, and then I also actually cut out these tiny little flowers from the Hippo and Friends dies. Now that is one that I was super happy to see is coming back, and I'll show you how it just adds a little bit of detail to your card. I'm running out of dimensionals, so I'm going to just snip some of the ends here. So I'm going to just put these down. Oh, I'm just reading your comment, Janice. Yes, I just figured this out very recently. I've had a few casualties with the Stampin' Seal, so try it with just a really light hand, and I think that might actually work better. Okay, so now I've taken my little lamb, my little lammy lamb, and I've put this down onto my card here. So what I'm going to do now is with these little flowers, I want to create a little bit of dimension. And so all I'm going to do here, I'm having such trouble because I cut my nails yesterday. I'm having a lot of trouble picking things up. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take the lid of my putty end, and I'm just pressing down into the center here. Okay, there's also a stylus end that you could use for this. Let's see if that might actually work better. No, that's not the one. There's a stylus end, which, oh yeah. So this actually comes with it. You get a few different tips with your take your pick tool, and you can just use the stylus end here. And then I'm going to stick these onto my card. So I'm going to pick it up using the putty, and I'm going to take my liquid glue here, and I'm just going to add a little dab. Honestly, this happens every time with my Facebook Lives. Let's poke this out. Okay, there we go. So now I'm going to pick this up again, and I'm going to put a little tiny dot of glue. Hopefully it's coming out. There we go. And I'm going to stick this down into the top right corner, onto the top right corner of my card here, okay? So give it a second to dry, and then while you're waiting for that one to dry, you can go ahead and do the other one. Okay, and then our last one here. Okay. My kids just went out for a walk and just came home. So if it suddenly gets loud in the background, you'll know why. Okay, so we're going to give those a little chance to dry. And while we do that, I'm going to put some linen thread. So linen thread goes beautifully with this bundle and this coordinated set of products. So I can't get enough of linen thread. If they ever retire this, I've said this multiple times, if they ever retire linen thread, I literally will cry. I know that sounds dramatic, but I use it so often. It's a staple in my crafting room. I just ordered 3 rolls of it because I use it so often. Okay, this might be a little bit long. So I've just tied a little bow here, and I'm going to use my glue dots. So this is one of my other favorite adhesives to use. But you know what? You could just use liquid glue with for all of your adhesive needs, with the exception of dimensionals. I feel like if you had to pick 2, then liquid glue and dimensionals would be kind of the way to go, because you can put your cardstock together and then you always want to add a little bit of lift and dimension. So we're just going to trim those edges here. And then we want to, of course, add some bling. So on my original card, I used the Elegant Faceted Gems. I'll show you what I did here. So I used the smaller ones on the inside, so they actually create a little bit of shimmer. And I'm just going to show you another alternative with our pearls. And let's see which size. I think maybe this medium size here. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so super cute. Really simple, and I've just used this with different dies and different greetings, so that I'm not using the greetings in that stamp set, and I've now created a welcome little one card. Okay, so tell me what you think about that. I hope you guys like it. I have 2 more tips to share with you. Okay, so I want you to, again, think when you're looking at your seasonal stamps, think about how you can extend the life of it. So we've talked about using it with note cards. We've talked about using it with different sentiments. We've talked about using it with different dies and punches. Now, tip number 4 is to make a home decor project. So I showed you the sampler that I created for the flowering cactus class. And I'll show you in the catalog, there's actually another cute little home decor idea where you can just use some of your designer series paper and anything else you want to add to it, and you can create a little hanging piece, or you can create a little piece to put in a frame and create some home decor projects. Okay, so this would lend itself really nicely to some spring home decor, or again, if you know somebody who's having a baby, you could create a really cute home decor project that they could put in their baby's bedroom, and I think that would be a beautiful gift. My daughter, quite frankly, would love even without sentiments, if I just created something that had some of the little images from here, I think she would be thrilled with that. Okay, so create home decor. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you is to create treat packages. So I haven't had a chance to actually use the stamp set on these, but this is just a piece of 6x6 designer series paper. And do I have a sample here? So this is so simple to do. You can just take your 6x6 designer series paper and roll it up. So this is like if you haven't had a chance to make your Easter treats, or you have a little birthday gift that you want to add something special to. You just basically take your 6x6, create a cone. Okay, you'll make it a little bit more even than mine. And then you can throw in some paper shred and some chocolates or whatever you want. And then you could actually stamp and cut out your images and just decorate a little bit on there. And then the last one here that I'm going to decorate is this little handbag. And this is from our All Dressed Up dies. And again, I haven't had a chance to do this yet, but you could stamp and you could fussy cut, or you could just put a punched circle stamp on there and add it on here with a little sentiment. So you could also make treat packaging with it. So lots of different ways to be able to use this stamp set. Now I have some other samples to share with you because I am offering this as my April class to go. So I'm going to give you a sneak peek at some of the samples, and just so that you can see the versatility here. Okay, so I've used these with the Subtles designer series paper, and then I've done this one here. So I cut the sentiment here that just says new beginning. So this would be a really good baby card too. So I just actually chopped up one of the sentiment pieces and then used new beginnings. And then I've got this one here and then this one here. So this would be a really good example of a home decor piece where you can just actually fussy cut the images and put them on a little background, and then create a sampler with that. Okay, so hopefully that gives you a few different ideas of how to use your seasonal stamps and extend the life of it. I'm going to just stop and read some of the comments. And oh, thank you. I'm so glad you guys like it. Thank you, Lorraine. Thanks, Phoebe. Oh, thanks, Barb. I appreciate you all so much. Hello, Carol. Thanks for joining. All right. Well, I'm glad that you guys found these tips helpful. I'm going to flip the camera back just so that I can say goodbye and wish you all a happy Easter. Just give me 1 second. All right. Okay. Oh, I'm glad you like it. So, yes, as I mentioned, those samples are from a class that I actually have. I'm going to be offering in April. So if anyone is looking for more ideas, or if you're looking for just ways to use that stamp set and have some samples with it, then that class might be something that appeals to you. So I will share more details about that. And I'm just going to read your comments. Janice, you had purchased that stamp set. So you, oh, okay, now after seeing the ideas, you think you need to reorder it. Aw, that really makes me happy. Oh, I'm glad you, hi Cheryl, I'm glad you like the cone idea. I will post pictures once I have decorated the treat packages. I'll post pictures so that you can see kind of how it came together. And let me know if you have any questions, and I'm glad that you found that useful. Oh, you guys made my day. Thank you. This is like the best Sunday of a long weekend ever. I really enjoyed hanging out with all of you. So I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope you find some time to craft or make something cute or pretty, and just enjoy the day that is today. Happy Easter, everybody. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye.